firing at 100%. There we go. I'm recording now.
Okay. Can someone show those screenshots and explain again what the problem is so I can get it on recorded?
Yeah.
So basically, the issue is, I'm going to explain it really quick. We're having to do a query for every single record to display the information on this screen. And the query is fairly complicated.
Well, show me the query. I want to
Bring
show
that
this
query back up.
Query, Vipul query batao.
Okay, so go ahead and highlight that query.
Show me the parts that you're talking about.
So for a single column, we're having to run this query on every single order in order to generate the information for a single column.
Now, is this on every order or on every delivery ticket?
I mean, every delivery ticket. Sorry,
every row.
But we have to run this.
Hold on, Jeff. I got questions. Which table are you having to query?
Tables are deliver task and deliveries and deliver tasks.
Tell me that query again. So you're having to do from deliver task.
From order items.
From order items.
Yeah. Then join orders, delivery task, users tables.
And that's for a single column.
Well, but there's a lot of ways to do queries, and we have some pretty high-level SQL people that might be able to give us some suggestions here. So I want you to go through and show me this, and I want to get this video and show it to them.
Yeah. So this the lines from 140 to 152. There are the 140 to.
Those are the 4 columns.
Yeah, those are the tables which we are using in joins, like user, deliver tasks, order items.
Can you guys take all? So would you take the query for each individual column and put that in the Hangout chat?
Yeah. So Jeff, I'd like a video of this. That line, that part of the code, the queries sent to me, so I can analyze.
Yeah, we will send you this whole query, and the database guy will understand it very quickly.
Perfect. Go ahead and email that to me, and I'll make sure Tim gets a copy of that.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, this is query for seed 01 dealer. So
this is for the dealer which is having the issue.
Okay.
So it wouldn't normally have that line in it, because normally it would be querying whatever's on the screen, but you guys are overriding that?
Yeah, it will be variable.
Yeah. So can you guys, before you send that code out to me, change that back to a variable? So just so there's no confusion for whoever's
and also which file that's in and where it's at, if you would.
Okay. Yeah, we'll send the full details so that it will be easy to understand.
Right. So my thought is, at least, I mean, we've got other resources. Sometimes another set of eyes might come up with an idea. One in particular that only does SQL queries. He does it all day long. So
yeah,
maybe he'll
that might be great.
Maybe he'll have an idea. Maybe he won't. I don't know. And then we can.
If he comes back, so here's a question for you, Tim. Because I'm understanding the problem here. We ran into the same problem when we were manipulating records in one of the other projects I was running, and the solution that they gave, which is to store the end result in a database, that's going to revolutionize the speed of this thing, because rather than running what could be tens of thousands of queries that might be pretty complicated, you're just pulling information out of a database. That's a fairly extensive rewrite, but that would fix the problem. What are your thoughts on that?
When would that be done by is the problem. We can't go one more day like this.
How long would it take you guys to finish that?
Optimization, we will try to do this today, but as I said, I'm 90% sure that it can optimize the performance.
Okay, so that would be tonight. We'd have to, in our time, we'd have to wait till tonight to do that part.
No,
Yeah.
well, to do the thing where we're actually storing the numbers, we
I'm
can't do
talking
that
about-
today, right?
We're
No,
talking about. Go ahead.
storing the number cannot be done today because it will be the huge means it will be very big change.
Right.
But you have
the
another
op-
option that may make it better.
The optimization we're going to get done. We're going to try to get done this morning.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Let's try that and see what happens, and then we'll talk about what to do next. And I do want to talk more about that optimization.
Okay.
The other thing I want to talk about is there? I mean, did you look at Jeff? Did you show him the information on the Apache errors we get from this code?
Yes.
Yeah,
we are
they've been
also-
looking at the Apache errors.
So can we start at least moving forward? It looks like we're not declaring variables. There's two things I see. One, it looks like we're not declaring variables. We're just using them. And I know that works, but the trouble is it fills the log up with errors. Two is we have a whole bunch of files that have include files listed in the beginning, and it's either the wrong path because it's not a relative path, or and obviously we don't need those include files or the thing wouldn't work, right? So we need to quit listing those include files if we don't need to include them, or put the right path. You know what I mean? So
yes.
I see there's hundreds of thousands of errors every day just from this site because none of the variables are declared, and all the files have these includes in there, and only some of them actually need it. I know
You guys started working on that last night, right?
Yes. We have already started
okay,
working on
there's
that.
nothing else. Just moving forward, let's not do it.
Yes. Sure.
I know that's not a one-day deal, and it's not even a top priority. But long term, and you're always going to have errors, but 300,000 a day is a little high.
Yes. Correct. Yeah.
Let's work on cleaning that up if we would.
Sure.
Okay, so it sounds like you have at least an initial thing we can try for the report. I just emailed Trisha to ask if we can hide it if we need to. I'd rather not, but I don't want the thing to crash either.
Okay.
Now, the other thing I want to talk about was the sandbox server or the staging. Let's call it a staging server.
Yep.
So if we create an exact copy of Live, would that help to be able to push only changes? So my thought would be like what we did last night. You would not push to Live. You'd push it to an exact replica of Live and give the client and Trisha a whole day to test it and then move it from there to Live. Do we believe that would help?
Yes, we can do that. It will help. It will be helpful.
And then if it doesn't work, or like this report, if it crashes things, it crashes the staging server, not the Live server.
Yes.
And then we just go back and try it again. So the important thing would be that we always refresh that from Live before we do a stage, and that we can't do a whole lot of testing on that because it's connected. It'll be connected to Live SAP. So you can't, the same testing rules apply to that as it would Live.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, we will need to have exact copy of code, exact copy of the database, and we will need the background jobs will be fine because we will eventually having the exact copy of the database. So we don't need the background job because before every release we will create replica of the live site before we merge the change. On the replica we will merge the change which are supposed to go on live, and the exact copy of the database of live.
So my thought is to create another server exactly like this,
Yes.
and to set up an rsync routine that you just run, and now bam, the staging server is identical to the live server. The database and code base would just sync. So it would just sync over from server to server. Does that work?
From live server to sandbox server?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I don't know how you handle the code branching there, though. You have to tell me that.
Yeah, in that I'm thinking of two ways. Like one way is before a release we will create a branch from a master branch and we'll merge the features to that sandbox branch, and once tested we'll merge that sandbox branch to the master branch. That is the simplest way I can think of. The another
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense because otherwise we're going to add too much complication to the
Yeah,
process.
I don't want to make it more complicated. I want to make it less complicated. So
Yeah.
it sounds like that would make the move live to be a lot simpler,
Yes.
and the testing to be a lot more reliable.
Yeah, but
Right.
in
And we
that
would,
case,
and we
we
could
will
break
have
stuff in
the
Sandbox and it wouldn't affect the main server.
But it would affect SAP, so you got to be careful with that. That's
Yeah.
why
Well, the testing would, but
Yeah.
if we wrote some code and then it went to Trisha and she tested it and it crashed, it would crash the Sandbox.
yes, exactly, because it's not going to be on the
Yeah.
same server.
Yeah, I think that would be hugely helpful. What do you guys think?
yes, and the reports and all that we can test on any of the user because it does not eventually do insert, update, delete. It will be just select statement.
Okay.
Right. That would be big.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll get going on that. I'll try to get it done this weekend.
All right. Yep, that will work.
And then my team is going to come in. You guys were talking about coming in tomorrow
Yeah,
to
we'll be
help
coming tomorrow.
to help work on this to make sure that we get this server crashing problem fixed. So the question is, Tim, can we reach out to you if this solution does not fix the problem? Then we might look at the other proposed solution where we're actually storing the data. And if that's the solution we want to do, should we start on it this weekend?
Touch base with me on that. I think we need to get this one in place and see what it does.
Okay.
And then I think we need to, because we've got to look at priorities. We've got this 2020 system. And Jeff, I can talk to you separately because we need to try to figure out workload balances here.
Okay.
So maybe we can have a quick call after this. So we're running up to some deadlines here coming up. So that if this fixes it enough, we might need to move on.
Okay.
We can talk about that, but and I also kind of need to know how many hours and time frame. So
What's your guys' you guys have a general estimate on what it would take to do the other fix, correct?
Sorry, I'm not getting.
So
Do you have a general estimate on what it would take to do the one where we store all the end results in a database and then we reference the database rather than doing the query individually? How many hours are we thinking that's going to be?
Vipul, from PHP endpoint, how much hours it can take? Roughly estimate can you give?
It's approx
6 or 7 places, right? Where we need to change. And each
approx
change will take approx 2 hours or less than that.
4-5 दिन.
We're probably talking 14 to 20 hours.
Approximate, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so a couple days maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like a week, but 14 to 20 hours.
My big
And
question.
we can do 14 to 20 hours and
Well, but a couple days by the time you
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right. So let's see if we can get that other one in place now. Anything else that I can help with or that you need to talk about or we have questions or concerns on?
Yeah, actually, while we are working on the solution, which we think it will work parallel, if you can just check with your database persons if they have any better solution.
Yeah. And I don't know if they'll have any ideas or not, but I know that he only does SQL queries. So,
And Tim, he comes on 8 a.m. Central.
well, it depends on when I can get a hold of him. He's a contractor too, but he's available most of the time. So,
Okay.
yeah, he probably won't be helped this morning, but long term, I think he's a resource we can start getting involved. He's pretty good. So,
Okay.
I know you guys know what you're doing too, but he only does SQL. He does it for a Fortune 500 company. He's the head guy.
Well, and we're not too proud to get help, man.
Oh
Trust
yeah,
me.
just
there's
another
always
is all I'm looking
yeah.
for. So
Okay.
and all right, so you guys will send me. Jeff, you'll get that information to me. That's Mark. If you ever talk to Mark, Jeff, that's what I'm talking about.
Mark. Okay.
Mark's and he only does SQL. We make him do other things, but he don't like
So,
it.
guys, go ahead and get an email put together for me. Don't worry about sending it in chat. Just get an email put together for me and send it over to me. I'm going to meet with Tim about the 2020 release. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Thanks a lot, guys. You're doing a great job. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it greatly. How do I hang this crazy thing up?
Should it be at the bottom? Yeah. Just close out the window.
Oh, there we go. Hang up. Leave.
There you go. I'll call you, Tim.